Alright, what you see here is a Hunter Summer Breeze ceiling fan. It is a 48-inch model, and if I'm not mistaken, this was the first version of the Summer Breeze they came out with. Then later on, they came out with a 52-inch model, and then they stopped selling the 4-blade only ones and made a 5-blade version throughout the 90s, and then from then on, they just made more updated versions of them, but basically, this is the first version of the Summer Breeze. I got this a few years ago, brand new in a box from Brandon C. Johnson. He does have a video of it on his channel, so I will be posting that in the description below. I figured I'd show it with the down rod because back when I first tested it, it was floor tested. But now that I'm using the basement to test, I figured maybe just put it on the down rod. But yeah. So a little bit of a later version of it because the first version of these, only like one really major difference is that, well, two of them, is that the mounting hardware on this is like the very early version of what you'd see of the ones that they'd use for the 90s. But all three of the screw holes have slots like that, where you can just kind of slide them in. I wish they kept them like that for the 90s. It would have been a lot easier, I felt. But yeah, that's one difference, is it has that canopy, not the regular ball and socket one, whereas it doesn't even have like a mounting plate, it's just like a regular mounting bracket and all that. The other thing is this one has an indented Hunter logos, whereas the earlier ones would have a sticker, a brass and black one. I do like those versions quite a bit as well, but this one's pretty nice also. I mean, they're the same thing to me, but definitely would like to find the version that I had just mentioned. But yeah. This fan is from the fourth quarter of 1988. So it is a bit old. I'm not sure when they stopped selling these. I'm not sure if they stopped selling them when they came out with the 52-inch or if they were selling them both at the same time. But these are pretty good performance for what they are in terms of the size. And this one does not have reversible blades. Pretty sure a lot of them don't. I do know that Mark Wilson, I don't know if he still has it, but he had one that actually had reversible blades on it. Definitely was interested in the blades on it, if anything. But yeah. There's different screen vents than what you see like on the later Hunters from the 90s, as you can see. And it does have a little bit, I'm pretty sure it has a larger motor in there, like a 188 motor. I'm not 100% sure with this one. It could just be a 172, but it might be a 188, I'm not sure. But it does go pretty fast on the high speed, so I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but yeah. It is definitely more like a mattish white, not a snow white. But it's not really, it's just called white, so that's what I'm gonna call it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start off on the low speed. I remember when I did the floor test video of it, I showed it with a schoolhouse and with the 52-inch blades from the Passport that I have. Won't be doing that in this case, or at least for right now. I'll probably do it later on. And I say that more so, not that I don't want to, I definitely want to get to it at some point. I might just do a video of it the way it is right now, because there's a lot of backlog I've been trying to catch up on. But yeah, it has a good low speed to it. And these came in this finish, bright brass, which was Hunter's polished brass, and antique brass. I definitely want to get the antique brass one. As for those who remember, way back in 2013, I did a video of two of them, well actually three of them at a mini market that also had two antique replica fans of some sort. Or they might have been actual like antique-ish ones, I'm not sure, but yeah. And those ones were actually the older version with the sticker logo and the regular ball socket type mounting hardware, not the Hunter-ish one that you see here. But yeah, they show up quite often in white, and the other two finishes, however, you don't see them as often. I want to say that some people used to call these uncommon. I honestly don't think these are really that uncommon in me. I've been seeing quite a bit of them on Marketplace and just in general, a lot of videos of them. But I definitely want to say that they're extremely common, but they're not really the most common ones from Hunter, just for the fact that they are an earlier one, whereas in the 90s they had a lot more models, so in a way they kind of are a bit more common than one would think. But since this exact one, for an example, is already 32 years old, it's definitely further back in time, so obviously you're going to see not so many fans from the 80s compared to stuff that you'd see like in the 90s, 2000s era, or 2010s era. So with that aspect, you can definitely say that they are becoming a bit more uncommon, I guess. Yeah, I do regret, I like seeing this. I kind of do wish I tested the Hunter Embassy with the download. The only thing is, at the time, I thought I wasn't going to be able to use this test area no more. So I was just trying to get as many videos of it done as quickly as possible. But I figured it'd just be quicker to install it and reinstall it, because I did take it down a few times when I was moving stuff out of the basement into the fan storage. I didn't want to hit it, so I did take it down a few times just to I think it wasn't that I didn't want to hit it. It was more so that I just had it flush mounted, because when I was taking apart the shelves and such, I didn't want to hit it or moving stuff off it. So I figured it would just be better to have it flush mounted. But I mean, that one I can always just retest in the future, but it won't be for quite some time though. But yeah, this definitely has a good low speed to this fan. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move it up to medium. Sorry about that. I just had to cut it because the heat from the house, the furnace went on. I forgot what I was saying, but oh yeah, I remember now. From what I remember hearing from some people, this was, in a sense, one of the Hunter's more economical models they made back then, before the Coastal Breeze. In a sense, along with the low profile and such. But basically, it was one of, I think it was more so back when they were offering more fans without stack motors, trying to introduce more models. So I wouldn't say it was an economical model, but it wasn't their top line model like the original and such, or like the 1886, or the early original the Comfort Breeze, back when it always had large motors and such. But yeah. It's definitely a fan that I feel can look good in basically any application, to be honest. And I really do want to find the 5-way 52-inch version in white, as they are pretty childhood for me, especially with the Ace Hardware name me having 3 of them. I just need to do a video for them running on each speed. I actually did find the controls for them, and the owners told me I can do a video of them, but I figured I'd just do it when it gets a bit warmer out instead of winterish time, because it's kind of cool, a bit cool to do that, I feel. But yeah, it's definitely back when Hunter really was more on top of the quality and performance. I mean, they definitely improved their fans within the past few years compared to the early 2010s era. They've definitely upped their game and such. I mean, it's definitely comparable to the 80s 90s and 2000s era models, the performance and build and such. But yeah, let me go ahead and move it up to high. And yes, would you look at that? A fan that isn't wobbling on my test rig. One thing with this one that kind of also makes it that it doesn't wobble is that it's been sealed away since I last tested it. So the blades haven't been able to warp and the blade arms aren't bent. So that's another thing. It's definitely pushing quite a bit of air though. Yeah, it's definitely a good performer. Yeah, I think actually now I'm thinking about it, this actually could be my first Hunter fan from the 80s. Or actually, yeah, it's not my. I don't think it's my only one. I noticed. I think I think the custom home I have is from the 80s, but and a few other stuff that I still have yet to reveal at this point. But yeah, I know I have a lot more 90s stuff than 80s Hunter models, but there's also not that many stuff that they made in the 80s that from Hunter compared to like the 90s. So that's also another thing. It's definitely pushing a good breeze, without a question. Yeah, I definitely really want to get the 5-way 52-inch one. Like, it's something I want to get, but it's not like a biggest priority because I know I'll find one eventually. And whatever I do, I am trying to get. It's more so stuff that isn't that common. Or if it is something that's common, it was either dirt cheap, or free. But this was also back when I was still building my collection when I got this one. And even if I didn't get it back then, it's definitely something I would get nowadays. Because it is kind of on the in-between area. Alright, now for spin down, and then I'll show it on reverse. Don't think spin down's going to be too long because the bearings really aren't broken in on it yet. I remember there was that one at the Salvation Army I saw a few months ago that was only $15. It was the older version of this, and I didn't get it. And it wasn't that I didn't want to. It was just I was with my dad, and he was just telling me not to get it. But I was kind of mostly trying to convince him to get it more so for his barn. And that's when he said he didn't want to use that in the barn of his new place because with it being white, he was afraid it would start rusting possibly, which is true. And painting this to look like all brown and not have like actual oak blades to it definitely wouldn't be as appealing, but what I'm putting in the barn will definitely be more better suited for it anyways. I don't know if that thing's still in there or not. If I see it next time, I'll definitely grab it. But I do plan to head up to the area somewhat soon. As of the moment I'm filming this video, that is. Alright, it's come to a complete stop. Yeah. I know there's definitely some more stuff I should be tackling in terms of remakes that are really overdue for remakes, but I'm just kind of going with whatever I can kind of test the quickest, put it together the quickest, and this happened to have been one of them. But there's also so much backlog of new stuff that I've been needing to show from the past few years. So it's kind of like I'm trying to do a bit of both. But a lot of the ones that I do need remakes done are more so at the storage unit, and the parts are kind of scattered either in bins somewhere in my room or somewhere in the hallway. No, it's more so in the hallway. It's just I've been doing a lot of stuff, so I haven't really had time to find all the parts for certain fans to retest them. But with this one being in its box still, made it a bit easier. But the remakes are coming. Hopefully by the time, whenever this one goes public, there will be a lot more of the remakes done. And videos of fans I've been meaning to film for the past few years now that I reviewed but just never tested. Alright, now for reverse high. I don't know why. I'm about to say, I never heard a fan make that sound before. And it has a little bit of a wobble to it. Interesting. Just an ever so slight one. Alright. Alright. And that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.